Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Scottish Watches Live Friday. It's going to be a good one. Been looking forward to this for a week. Lots of Speedmaster content, and we have a guest, Mr. Speedmaster himself. I'm not sure if you trump Dave, RJ. It's like a battle of the bands. Is RJ more speedy than Dave is?
I don't know how many Dave has.
Oh, do we actually know? Is there a count? Dave, does Dave know how many Dave has?
I smell a competition coming up here.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I do.
You do. RJ, what's your number?
Around 30. I don't know exactly.
Dave, higher
very similar.
Ah, there we go.
It's a tie.
Well, maybe we need to get you both up for a video of it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 or 31.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, RJ, welcome. RJ, as you will know, is from Fratello magazine, which will feature a couple of times today because it is well known for its Speedmaster coverage. RJ, what is happening in the world of Fratello right now?
Lots of things. We have a new staff member from Manchester, and it's Dave Sargent. And he will be taking care of our shop and building the community for Fratello.
We've never heard of him.
No.
Never heard. He's a terrible guy. A
very dentist.
He is?
Oh, it's still... well, we still have a month, I guess.
Yes, I mean, yeah, presumably has like a notice period that,
yes.
You know, the first 30 days of employment, you can just kick him out without any warning.
Before November 1st.
Right, okay. Well, we'll keep that. We'll get back in touch on November 1st then. Good stuff. Well, it is going to be a speedy show today, so I think we will just crack on without further ado. So the way this is going to work, and first one up is going to be RJ, is each of our panel here. In fact, we'll do a quick round the doors because nobody really knows who Dan is. So we better introduce him. We'll go quickly around the doors and say who you are, where you are, and what you're wearing. First on my screen is Ralph.
Oh, all right. Okay. I am wearing the Bling Master today. I'm Ralph and based in Dubai, and I'm wearing my golden G-Shock. Ooh.
Oh, very good. It's not the real gold one. It's fake gold, yeah. Not the real gold.
I wish it would be.
Dan, you're up next.
Hi, Dan occasionally likes things. I'm not going to show you what I'm wearing because I don't want to give it away. In sunny Swindon, yeah, all good.
Good stuff. And then Dave, you're next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm still somewhere in the north, and I'm wearing an iWatch 6. So stick all that up where you don't like it.
Have you got a Speedmaster screen for it?
I might have a Speedmaster as well.
Okay, that's cool. Next up, Arthur.
Hey, I'm Arthur. I'm Tick Tick Broom on Instagram. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm wearing my Speedy Pro today.
Good. Sean, you're next.
Hi, guys. I'm Sean at The Complicated Wrist on Instagram. I'm also from the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm wearing my Speedmaster Pro Sapphire Sandwich today.
Good. Sam, your turn.
Hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Instagram at Sam and her Watchbox. I'm in Colorado right now, and I'm wearing my Bulova Accutron too.
Good. And Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Miami, competing with Ralph with wearing real gold. AP.
Yeah.
And I would like
end the show now.
I would like Ricky to raise his cup right now.
I'll wait.
And then we have RJ, who've already introduced, but RJ, where actually are you and what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a Speedmaster today.
Oh.
X-33, previously owned by a Dutch astronaut who was in one of the space shuttle missions in the 80s. And yeah, happy to have this watch from my childhood hero.
Good, wow. Good. And Ricky, where are you? Somewhere in Glasgow, presumably. And what are you
I am in the Outer Hebrides today.
Ah.
So I have got the Apollo 8 and I'm drinking from this cup.
Okay. Thank you. That'll be the last appearance that makes.
Yep.
Anyway, or probably not. And I'm wearing a pack. Right, okay, let's get on with this. So first up is going to be RJ, and the way this is going to work is our individuals will have a few moments to present their best and favourite Speedmaster, their choice from the full range from all the years it's been going. And then the other members of the show today will get to vote on it. They can vote and give it points 1 to 8, but they can only use each score once. So a little bit of jeopardy, a little bit of strategy. Once they have used that number in voting for a watch, they then have to tear it up, and we will see who wins at the end of. And we'll then maybe compare it to the new Snoopy to see whether what ends up winning the vote is better or worse than the new release. So first up is going to be RJ. We actually have a little video of this particular watch because Dave owns it, but RJ is going to nominate the Apollo 50th and Apollo 11 50th anniversary Moonshine Gold, which we will see here. So RJ, why is this the best stroke your most favorite Speedmaster?
Here is it. I'm holding it up on my screen as well. This is my favorite Speedmaster because it commemorates the first gold Speedmaster that Omega did in '69, and 32 were given to astronauts and a few to the White House. The people from the White House, so the president and the vice president, they had to refuse this watch because of the value, and they were government people, so they could not accept any gifts over a certain amount of money. I think that astronauts were also on the payroll of the government, but they accepted the watches. Very interesting. And so the first 32 or 30 something went to astronauts and White House members. No, not White House members, but some officials. And then in total, there were 1,014 created. So most of them went to the markets, very sought after. And then last year, because of the Apollo 11 50th anniversary, Omega redid this watch basically. And I think it's better than the original. If you look at the original ones, they tend to age very differently from each other. This one has a more advanced movement. It's a master chronometer movement. It has the ceramic bezels, so it won't discolor and it won't damage. A lot of these old bezels are damaged. Sometimes even you will find them with holes in it. And for the rest, they really took care of getting everything precise as the original. So even the clasp, it ends at 14 millimeter. The dial is massive gold. It uses onyx hour markers. And last but not least, there's a piece of lunar meteorite in the case back, which makes it really interesting. And it's numbered. And my favorite astronaut is Tom Stafford. And he received number 13 in 1969. And I also have number 13. So that's a very nice coincidence.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool. And one other member of our panel also has one of these, or at least one other member. That's Dave. What number have you got? And don't say you've got number 13 as well.
No, I don't. That's a good question. I can't actually remember. 22 rings a bell. It's relatively low. It's like in the first 20 or 30, but I can't remember exactly the number, to be honest. Most of that stuff doesn't bother me, to be honest.
Who else has tried this on?
Me.
What do you think?
It was nice. Yeah.
It's a heavy thing. There's definitely heft about it. You could cause some proper damage with this watch.
Yeah.
I did also find it pinched the hairs a little bit, but maybe that's just my hairy arms. I don't know if anybody else has that experience with this one, but the movement on it this is the modern movement that's just in the newly released Snoopy as well. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. They use in the Snoopy, they also use Calibre 3861, which is basically almost the same as 1861, despite half of the parts have been replaced. But it's a master chronometer, meaning it has a coaxial escapement, silicon balance spring, and yeah, it looks nice. And the Snoopy has this movement as well. For the case back of the new Snoopy, they made this automaton, as they say, I guess in French, with the Snoopy flying over the Earth, and it's yeah, it really looks cool. And this will also be the movement that will replace the current Moonwatch movement. So at some point there will be a new Moonwatch replacing the current one. And that will also have this movement inside.
Yeah. And when do we think that will happen?
I think it will happen this year.
Right. Okay. So pre-Christmas, in time for a Christmas present, eh?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah. And although announcement of that watch and availability are two different things.
In that
Fair
it's
enough.
going to be limited, or just that
No,
it's-
no, just as in that they'll probably announce it, but whether there'll be much of them available is a different.
Yeah, it will not be
Yeah.
directly available, I guess, and especially not
Yeah.
with the current situation I
Mhm.
think in the world, but also in Switzerland with their recent hack. It will.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Bad.
And
Yes.
I thought we were supposed to not talk about that.
No, well, we weren't supposed to talk about it, but RJ can talk about it, and Sophie can talk about it.
So
It's-
basically,
it's
somebody's
public.
getting
Public knowledge.
right. So somebody's
It
getting
wasn't
knocked
written-
anti for Christmas.
Has he not been arrested somewhere?
No, that was John McAfee.
That was McAfee, yeah.
McAfee.
Yeah,
Good
that
stuff.
crazy
I've just-
bastard.
I've just actually checked. Mine's number 42 because I had a picture somewhere. 42 is my number.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's the answer to the universe and everything. That's a good number.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the answer to
Like that.
everything.
Excellent. Right. Well, let's vote. We've got a few of these to go through, and let's see where it takes us. So your job is to cast your vote 1 to 8 for RJ's Paul 11. I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to go round you. So Arthur, what are you giving it?
Is 1 the best?
No, one is the worst.
Okay, so this is
Decided.
points assigned. Okay.
Point. So
all right.
maximum points is the winner. You
I
can,
will
only
give
use
it-
the score, you can only use the score once. So Arthur gives
I
it
would-
6. Sophie? Failed.
F.
No, is that a 7?
Wait, it's not good?
That could have been a fail, a 4, or a 7. Which one is it?
It's a 7.
Dan, what did you give the Moonshine Gold? An 8. Oh, some high scores here. Sam?
Definitely.
6.
A 6. Sean? A 5. Dave? You're one of them. Ricky? A 7. I think actually just stop the show now because I think RJ's probably won. And Ralph, go on, vote strategically here, Ralph.
I'm
Go on, one.
giving it a sitta. That's a 6.
That's a 6.
I have
Okay,
questions,
so
Rick.
Let's. You have questions. What questions?
I have
do you
questions. So usually when you vote on things and you're not allowed to reuse them, you would know what candidates you have before you start placing your votes.
And that's where the jeopardy comes in.
Okay, and also how many people are involved in this picking watches?
What do you mean?
Ricky.
There's 8 of you. Well, there's 9 of you.
Many numbers do we have?
You can't
There's
vote for
9
yourself.
people on the screen.
You
There's
can't
8
vote for
numbers and
yourself.
You can't vote for yourself.
Don't come with this logic thing, Ricky.
Okay, I'm
see?
just asking,
Yeah,
just asking questions.
sit back. You're sitting there thinking, oh, Rick's duffed
Rick,
up again.
remember, Ricky, you can't argue with stupid.
He's thinking of those fake lemons again, aren't you, Ricky?
Oh, they're great. They're the best type.
Good stuff. Right, let's move on. And next up is going to be Sean. And
Ooh.
Sean has made a good choice here because I quite like this. Let's share this. This is from Fratello magazine, where you can find all the good Speedmaster
convenient.
stuff. This is the Tintin. So Sean, talk to us about the Tintin. Why is it called the Tintin for starters?
So first, I picked this one because this is one of my watch regrets when I didn't buy it when they were under $4,000, like 4 or 5 years ago. But I love it because it's so Omega. It represents both a limited edition that failed, that they then decided to launch still just to make some money back on it. So it was known as just the Omega Racing Dial when it was finally released. No one knows how many were actually produced, but it's somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000. So it is in fact a limited edition of such, but it's all because Omega wanted to do a limited edition with Tintin, the publishers of the comic strip, and the publisher for whatever reason didn't like it, whether they didn't like the design on the logo that was rumored to be placed on the dial originally or what. But the checkered pattern, the red and white checkered patterns there to represent Tintin's red rocket that took him to the moon in 2 comic strips. So Omega being Omega decided to keep launching this one, even though the publishers didn't go with it. And it's kind of wasn't well received when it was first released in 2013. And now it's just one of those hot watches that everyone in the know wants to have in their collection. I'm sure a few people here probably have one too and can appreciate it for its simplicity and yet its undervaluedness still in the community.
Here it is.
Oh, RJ has one.
There you go.
Nice.
Surprise!
Wow.
One of the 30 in the collection. Nice.
Yeah. This is cool. This is a cool watch. So how long ago did you see this and then not buy it?
This was probably like 2015, maybe 2014, where one came up and I saw it and I was like, it's under $4. I should get it, but I waited too long and it disappeared. And then prices just kept going up. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
So,
And I regret it to this day.
So these watches didn't do well at the start. So a lot of them ended up in Japan. And in Japan, you have these big shops called Big Camera, and you have Yada Boreyashi or something, some other big stores where they sell electronics, golf clubs, toothpaste, and watches. And I was there in 2017, and they were around 4.5K here. And I, like you, I also missed out when they first came because I was not that triggered. And they showed it to me, and they said, "Well, this is the Speedmaster Schumacher." I said, "Whatever. What's the price?" And they said 2,200 euros. So that was a good pick in 2017.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's a very nice watch. Only it's very limited, like you say, between 1,000 and 2,000. I would narrow it down between 1,500 and 2,000. And the original one, I've seen it. It has the rocket at 11 o'clock. And on the back side, there's a part of the comic of Tintin.
Cool.
They have the rights to use the image and the name of Tintin?
No, that was the issue.
Ah.
Maybe in some countries, maybe.
No, so Moulin's Art, they are the legal protectors of Tintin's heritage. They said no, and then there was no going forward. And then, like Sean says, Omega, they just wanted to use these dials, and they did what they had laying around. And it's a very nice watch, but it didn't make sense to have it like a racing, because it was promoted as racing dial under embargo before Basel World 2013 started. And we had our first meeting with Omega on the first day of Basel World in the first hour, and they said, yeah, it's indeed not a racing dial. And then they told a story about Tintin, and we put it online, and it was quickly nicknamed Tintin. And it's a very funny watch, and the original is really cool with the rocket on the dial. But I wonder if they put it out like that with the rocket on the dial, if it would have been such success as it is now, because perhaps it was too gimmicky. And there's no real relationship with Tintin, unlike with Snoopy, for example. So I really wonder, I think the myth of this current one, does well for this particular model.
Right. I think it's lovable because everyone now knows it's a failure. Like, it's a lovable failure underdog now.
Yeah.
I love the case back that they went the extra step of making the writing in red too, just for that little bit different.
Yeah, true.
Hey, when you think about it, the Paul Newman was a failure too.
Right. And not appreciated in their time. And now look at them.
Yeah.
Much like myself.
Make failure great again.
The American way.
The American way, yes. Far be it from me to comment. Good stuff. Right, let's vote on this, on the Tintin. I will stop to share the screen. You can play along at home. So first up again, on the Tintin, let's have it. Arthur?
4.
A 4. Sophie?
Also
a 4. Dan? A 5. Sam?
A 4.
A 4. David? A 3. Ricky? See, folk are getting strategic now. A 2. Ralph?
I'm giving it a wahid.
Oh, a 1.
Oh.
Me. RJ?
Just to honor the failure.
Honor the failure. A 4.
I'll remember this when it comes to voting, Ralph.
Yeah, you see, this is it.
I'm saving my 1 for you, buddy.
What we'll do is we'll just scrap RJ's score. He's the guest, so he has to win. And now the competition is amongst all the Scottish watch folk.
I was going to say, if RJ doesn't win, he is going to self-combust, definitely.
So next up, and actually is more or less the only person that went for something proper vintage, and that's Sam. So Sam, tell us all about the 2998-62.
Yes, I love this watch. I think this is, when I think of Omega, this is something I think of. This was made in 1962, and there's actually 8 different models of that. They just kind of changed either the details of the subdial. That's something that we would only us nerds would like appreciate. And they also changed the hands as well from the 1957, just the alpha style hands. I think this was like their kind of like experimental phase of just like, let's find out what we can do different and launch different models with how well the 1957 model did. I love the style. It does have the flat lugs, unlike the previous 1957, but I think it's absolutely classic. It's so good looking. It has the black bezel instead of the silver. I just adore everything about this watch. It's so good. And this was actually, I know for a fact that this is one of the first watches that were in space. I know it's not the moon, but just space in general. I think that's so cool. So that's how Omega kind of got their foot into the, space kind of thing. So I really dig that.
Yeah, have you actually seen one of these in real life?
I have. So story time. My grandpa has one, and he's kind of the person one of the people that got me into watches. And this is when he was young. He was like 20, and didn't have a whole lot of money. Just got married because that's what you do back then. And but he always had the need for a good watch, and he always gravitated towards something like this. And Omega was something that always caught his eye, and he still has it till this day, and I love it.
And have you got, without wishing to be like, unkind, have you got your name down for it? That sad day comes.
So my uncle's another person that loves watches. Right. So
we got a family round going on.
Dibs. He has dibs, but I'm his favorite niece. So
all right.
How old is your uncle?
Got it.
Like, remember, murder's only illegal when you get caught.
Yeah, be a shame if something happened to him,
I want him to have it for as long as possible. Don't ever say that.
No, I mean your uncle, not your...
It's okay, the watch is safe. We'll not kill the watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Good stuff. What's everyone's experiences of older Speedmasters? I'm not, as the world knows, I'm not a Speedmaster fan. I own one, but I'm not a big collector or anything. I've seen a couple of rare ones and a couple of older ones, but obviously Dave, RJ, others in the room may have more experience of these kind of more elderly Speedmasters. What's your thinking? Are they cool just because they're old and they're more original?
They're instantly cool. Any Speedmaster is instantly cool. Let's just end at that, shall we?
All right, okay. You're not biased at all.
Dennis, my friend.
Yeah, we know.
They're really cool, but there's a lot of challenges. You just need to be really careful before you stick your toe in that water, because there's so many pitfalls that you could fall into if you're not careful.
Okay, let's vote on Sam's. We'll do it again. Arthur, you're up first.
Okay, I'm going with a 5.
Going with a 5. Sophie.
Also 5.
Also a 5. Dan.
Annoying.
You're a 6. Sean.
Going with a 4.
A 4. David. A 7. Ricky. 4. Ralph. You've used your 1.
5.
5. And RJ. A 7. Done quite well. I'm keeping an eye that no one's using the numbers twice. Got an advanced IT system here in the background. So that was good. Well done, Sam.
Abacus.
Yeah, abacus. Next up, now, whose is this? This is Sophie is next. And now we get into the kind of realm, from my point of view, of Speedmasters that all look exactly the same. So here is Sophie's one, but this has a good story. This is the Moonwatch Professional Chronograph 42mm, and I'll say the numbers for those that like these things. It's the 311.30.42.30.01.006. Sophie, tell us about this watch and tell us why it's important to you.
So when my son turned 15, I wanted him to have a special watch, and I was going between a Rolex or an Omega. He already has plenty of Talker, so that was fine. I had to place it. That's gonna be the game from now on. When is Sophie gonna play Stalker?
Yeah.
So I was in between the two brands, and I figured, you know what, the Rolex is just too obvious and too statusy, and I didn't want a kid at 15 to just shine a Rolex. I just didn't want that. And the reason I chose that watch, the Omega, specifically, is because of the movement. I wanted him to have a manual movement, and I wanted him to look at it and to play with it, learn about it. I got him the book, the Moon Watch book with this, which is a fantastic book, because I wanted him to have knowledge as well. And it was just not a watch to show to people. It was a watch for him to actually learn to love and appreciate. And it came with that box. I mean, the box is sick. It has the loop, and it has a NATO strap that goes with it, and the metal. It's like the whole package. But it to me, it represented what Omega is all about with a modern twist. I didn't want to go into a vintage watch for him because he was 15. I wanted something modern, and it became his grail. He wears it all the time. He talks about it with his friends. So he's like this little nerdy, now he's 18, but at the time he was this little nerdy 15-year-old that would be able to talk about a manual movement, show how it worked, wind it, and kind of play with a power reserve. And to me, that was the best heritage I could give to my kid as the watch queen, I guess.
Cool. No, it's a great story. Great story.
Wish I had a mum like you, Sophie.
What?
I wish I had a mum like you.
That's a different channel and podcast.
Yeah. I knew you was going to go that route.
Dan's asking to be adopted, I think.
Well, it's the right size.
No, it's a great watch, and I particularly like the fact that, as you say, it has the clear case back to show the movement, which is it's a spectacular chronograph movement, the Moon watch in general. Okie dokie, let's give this one a vote. I'm not going to repeat the model number again. You can check the show notes if I ever decide to write them. But first up is Arthur.
Give it a
Sophie.
3.
Okay, Dan, I'm expecting, because you want to be adopted, that it'll be a big vote.
Sorry, no.
Nice. No.
Fake news.
No, it's getting a 2. Sam.
3.
Dearie me. Sean. Not even any feminine support there. David. A 4. Ricky. Does Sophie owe you money before you vote? No, it's okay. So it's a 5. Ralph.
Amalia.
What's that? I can't see. You need to zoom out.
That's an 8.
An 8. And
because
RJ,
it's the affordable choice, man.
It is. It's a good choice. And a 5 from RJ. Well done, Sophie. That's a good choice. I do like it. It is a classic. It is the one that everybody knows. Okay, Koki. Now, just because he gave it an 8, but actually it is his turn. Next up is Ralph. And I have to say, I think this is a good all-round choice. This is the Omega Coaxial Master Chronometer Moon Phase, because, you know, it's a moon watch, so it would seem sensible to have a moon on it. 44.25 mil, 304.30, 0.44, 0.52, 0.01, 0.001. Take us away, Ralph. Why do you think this is the Omega to buy?
Why? I mean, you just said it, the numbers. If you add up every digit of this number, you come up at 27. 27 is the number in the New General Catalogue of Astronomy of a spiral galaxy in the Andromeda Nebula. Do I need to say anything else? That is just mind-blowing. Okay. Number 2, this watch is the Moon watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on all of the watches, it says it on the back. You never see it, man. So this watch has it on the front. It's the moon. And be 29.5 days. It will show you the full bloody moon and remind you that this is the fucking moon. Oh, it is the moon watch. No swearing. It is the moon watch, beep. And that's why I think this is the natural choice. There's no other way. This is the real moon watch.
I've not actually checked, but does genuinely those numbers add up to 27?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Because actually the date,
Would I lie to you?
Because actually the date that's also shown on the watch is also 27, and that would be kind of freaky on the Omega catalogue. So there we go. Excellent. I like this because, as you say, it's got the moon on it, and it's always struck me that the moon watch should have a moon phase on it. It's also got a nice proper date on it, and it's a two dial chronograph. It's got 29.5 days written on it for the full turn of the moon. What does everybody else think of this? You don't need to vote. I want your opinions before you vote. No.
Oh,
So
I love it. I love
giving it a
I
1.
love that it has the moon on it. Yeah, I love it that it has the moon on it. I think it's just a great touch. And like you said, why not have a moon watch with the moon phase on it?
I like them, but in that family, the blue ceramic with the adventuring dial is the one you want.
Too expensive.
How much is
all the best things in life are expensive, my friend.
It's a lot of money. It's not expensive.
Okay.
It's good.
It's
good
just numbers.
value.
It's just numbers. You can just add up the digits of the price you pay, and it's not so much.
I mean, maybe the Omega Boutique will accept the £100 off Christopher Ward voucher that we all get. You try that and see. Right, okay, let's give this one a vote. Starting as usual with Arthur.
Good for a watch, but it doesn't rank highly for me in speedies.
Oh dear, it's a 1.
Give
Sophie?
me the ones. Give me the ones.
Sophie's giving it a 6 by the looks of it. Then Dan is giving it a 1. Oh dear,
Dan
Sam.
and Sophie. Dan and Sophie have got the same size bit of paper.
5.
Sam's giving it a 5. Sean.
Gotta go 1.
Oh dearie me. David. Oh, Ricky. The 3 is out. And RJ.
Yeah, a bit of a disclaimer first. I mean, I like the watch, but for me, that's not a moon watch. That's the issue. It has a moon phase, but it's not a moon watch. And there are moon watches with a moon phase. So I'd rather would go with those. So it's a 1, but it is a nice watch.
It's not personal. I understand.
Well, before
And I will strike back.
before Ralph logged on to this, there was some chat that we should actually reverse the order so that the lowest score was actually the winner. And right now, that would probably be Ralph. Okay. Now we have a bit of a classic, and Arthur is going to lead us in chat about this. It is the first Omega in space. Fire away.
So,
Arthur.
So this watch, I think it came out in 2015 or 2016. Was, is that right? Hodinky wrote it up in 2016.
Yeah, they're late.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you, RJ. I'm off to a good start with the facts, aren't I? So this is
when did facts ever get in the road of an American?
Or anything to do with Scottish watches?
So this one is an homage to the watch that Sam was talking about, specifically astronaut Wally Schirra's own personal CK2998, which he wore into space in 1962. And as Sam mentioned, was the first Omega in space. So I like this watch because it's heritage without any compromise. It's relatively speaking a pretty good value. You get that vintage look and the straight lug case with modern construction and quality. You got the cool step dial, you get the alpha hands. And one thing I really like about it is the case size, especially with the straight lugs, can suit pretty much anyone. I have the Speedy Pro, but my wife has this watch, the first Omega in space, and it looks really, really good on her. So I'm constantly jealous of how good it looks on her. So this was my pick. Sam's being an elitist with her family heirloom. I say this is the everyman's approach to.
Sorry,
Harsh.
Is the case 39 or 40?
39 point something.
39.7.
Yeah, it's
39.7.
nearly 40.
Yeah. So they didn't make much of a change with that because the 62 is 39 as well.
And is that the original size of the Moonwatch, RJ? Was the one that went to the moon just under 40 mil?
The one that was on the moon by Eldrin was 42.
Was 42.
But Omega also used the 105003, which is the third generation. And the first one, so the 2915, the one that Sam's grandfather has, and the 105003s, the Ed White, they all share the same case. So they are all 38 point something. So let's say 39 millimeters. And the 105003, so the Ed White, was the one that was also on the moon. Actually, it was the last Speedmaster one on the moon by Gene Cernan.
Yes, yeah, man. Yeah.
Can anybody else tell that RJ is already thinking about what he can sell so as he can make Sam's grandfather an offer for his watch?
Stop! Guys, it's mine.
Let's begin the hostage negotiations.
Good stuff.
You shouldn't have told. You shouldn't have said you were the favourite.
I am. I'm the one and only.
On my other monitor, I'm Googling her grandfather. So
local hitmen in the area.
I'm gonna tell him to fear for his life now. Oh no.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's give the first Omega in space a vote. Arthur doesn't get to vote first. First that gets to vote is in fact Sophie.
But I'm not happy because I don't have my good numbers anymore. So I'm stuck with like that. Yeah. So I would have given more, but I can't do that.
From Sophie. Dan, you can't add them up. Dan's giving it a 7. You can tell he does a show with Arthur. Sam.
107.
7 from Sam. Sean.
Going with 6.
6. Dave. An 8. Ooh, good stuff. Ricky. This might be sneaking up on the outside, you know. Giving it a 6. Ralph.
I'm giving this it's none. A 2.
2. And RJ.
I gave it a 3. I like the watch, but it has a sapphire crystal and it has a case back that does not, it's not the same as the normal moon watch, and it is a little bit of a mock-up. But I like the watch, but yeah, for me it's a 3.
There you go, some honesty there from RJ. Right, next up is, I think it's Dan's turn. Dan, we got you on this show special. Don't let us down. You have got the 35705000. This one.
I certainly have. The reason why I've picked this is because it was the first watch that kind of made me realize that this crazy hobby existed. I didn't know anything about the history of the Speedmaster at all. Just saw it in the shop window and instantly thought, that is amazing. I think because it looks, I work in the aircraft industry, so it looks kind of like an aircraft instrument. So I guess that kind of style appealed to me straight away. I wanted something that wasn't completely delicate, something I could use every day at work. And the chronograph function does actually get used at work, Rick, which you've mentioned before. And yeah,
lunch break.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I never liked about it is the bracelet. I know it's built very well and it's very nice, but I don't like the style of it. I think it's that kind of polished. The polished center parts are a little bit too dressy for me. So I changed mine to a Mexican Holzer bracelet for the Uncle Seiko, and now it's absolutely perfect. So yeah, amazing. Headlight crystal, solid case back. It's the perfect Speedmaster.
So is this the closest one to the actual watch that went to the moon without spending $1 gazillion?
Yeah, I get that's perceived. However, there is quite a lot of differences, aren't there, RJ?
Yeah, there's different movement. The case is slightly different, the dial slightly different. But in the end, I think this is the direct descendant of the watch that was worn on the moon. If you want to have a moon watch, but you want to have the modern one, then you either pick this one or the new Calibre 321.
And the new Calibre 321 is a smidgen more expensive.
Yeah, the price difference is massive.
Yeah.
The production of this, was it 96 to 2014? Is that correct, RJ?
This one was from 1996 to 2014.
Oh, he doesn't
14
know.
before it went before it got
Yeah.
a longer number with the big box. Yeah, that was 2014.
Good stuff.
I've got my facts right. Yes.
Just like Mastermind.
Putting me to shame.
Excellent. Right, let's give Dan a vote. So I hope we've saved all the ones from, not because the watch is bad, but because Dan's horrible. So Arthur, you get to vote on your Instagram. Let's give you a show a plug. You're back this Sunday. Well,
There we
I'm
go.
not actually. You're gonna
I
have an
usually give
8.
Dan crap, but this is the one for me.
What are you guys discussing this Sunday on Call the AD, the Arthur and Dan show on Instagram and then on YouTube?
We
Oh,
Thank you.
Is he
Ricky's
answering
saying
the door?
goodbye. Ricky's answering the door.
we've got a complete deja vu show, haven't we? We are talking about Speedmasters and a new acquisition that Arthur has as
Yeah.
well.
which is
good,
not a
very good.
speedy. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Snoopy, and then I got a Longines that I'm really in love with. So yeah,
Cool.
See you there.
Excellent. So that's Arthur gives it an 8. Sophie, what are you giving Dan at numbers? Is that a 2? Sam, what have you got left?
Giving him an 8 because he
Ooh.
never wins any of the games that they play. So
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Rudolph.
sorry, Dan, but you never win.
It's true.
So Dan gets a sympathy vote as normal.
Thank you,
Sean,
Sorry, I'm gonna go with 2.
Dave.
To counter Sam's victory vote, you can have a 2.
Excellent. Ricky.
Well, I've only got 2 numbers left, and because it's Dan, obviously I'm going to give him one.
You give him. I'd give
Give
him.
him
I'd give
one.
him one 2. I'd give
From
him one 2,
behind.
but I only had 2.
Ralph.
I'm giving it a Palata, a 3.
And RJ.
Cool
finally
story.
for you.
Yeah, it's actually, it should be an 8, but because of the Uncle Psycho bracelet, it's a 6.
Oh.
There is justice in the world. Good stuff. Right, we are now on to floaters. And Float Like Dave has chosen this. I believe
No,
I
he's
picked
not.
the right one. This is
No, you're
have you
not. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. I thought you said you chose the 3-2-1. This is the
Yeah,
3-2-1.
the other one.
The other one. All right. Okay. The
Dusty bin.
The
That's
dusty,
the
the
precious
dusty
metals.
bin.
3, 2, 1,
the
that we're
standard
looking at.
one. Right. We'll start talking about this one. I'll unshare this
So-
while I look up
Where's
the
the camera?
correct one.
This
Oh,
one
actually,
we're
let's
talking
just
about.
put, let's
Oh,
just
you're
put you
wearing
on
it.
full screen. Right. Full screen.
It's okay. They all look the same anyway.
So there we go.
Mm.
Camera. Where's the camera? This is the one I'm
There's the-
talking about. So this
Okay.
is the stainless steel 321 Calibre 321. Why did I choose that? I chose it for various reasons, but it's probably actually genuinely not my favorite. But the reason I've chosen it is because it ticks many boxes for me over different areas. One is I like the fact that I like new watches. I have some vintage watches, but vintage watches are the bane of my life because they're fragile, they need a lot of work, the kind of research you have to do to make sure you're not getting caught out, everything. So I like new watches.
Are you
fact-
describing Ricky? You're describing Ricky, that are you? Fragile?
What was
No,
he
it's
saying? I
more
wasn't
that-
even paying attention. I'm busy on my phone.
He's
Well,
texting me.
speaking of which,
You're an idiot.
carry on.
Right. So part of it is the kind of the fact that it has got lots of nods to the heritage of the 321, but it's in a modern package. So along with that, you get everything that comes with a modern watch. It's very well made. It's going to be broadly reliable because it's modern and it's being made to modern kind of tolerances and standards. So there's that. I also like the fact that the actual movement was mapped off of Gene Cernan's watch, which was the watch that he wore as the last person to step foot on the moon. And that watch is in the possession of Omega on loan from NASA. And he is my favorite astronaut of all of them. So the fact that it was actually based off the mapping of the original movement from his watch kind of appealed to me as well. Most Speedmasters, I have a love-hate relationship with the bracelets. I like the look of them, but I usually immediately remove the bracelets and usually put on a Snoopy strap on a deployant. This one finally has a bracelet that is pretty much perfect. It wears really well, it's comfortable, just everything about it is right. And I don't know, it's just, there's something about it that's slightly different to all the other ones I've got that just makes me smile every time I see it. There's so many nods, whether it be the case to the Ed White, you know, it's not the same, but it certainly takes design cues from that. There's lots of things that are not exactly maybe as they should be, but it's just, to me, it ticks many, many boxes, both on a watch level and on a personal level, that just makes it pretty perfect. I like that it's not limited edition. I do like the fact, though, that it's not super easy to come by. I think if they'd made this a limited edition, it would have had no reason to be a limited edition. Most of the limited edition mission-orientated watches, fair enough, they can base it around the mission year or something that's based in some form of fact. This to be limited edition, I think, would have been remiss of them, and the fact that it's not as good, but the fact that so far they appear to be being careful about how many they put out there and who ultimately gets them, I think's also a good thing. That's it.
And how close is the 3-2-1 movement that's in this to the original? Is it an absolute copy, or have they actually tweaked some things that were perhaps wrong with the original?
In terms of design, and it's as near to identical. Obviously, it's made to modern manufacturing tolerances. So there is, whereas in 3-2-1s, the original 3-2-1s, there would always be microscopic differences between the parts by nature of how they were made. This one is based off of an original 3-2-1. Material science has obviously advanced greatly since they first made them. Manufacturing techniques for individual parts will have changed, but it's as true and honest depiction of a 3-2-1, but made with modern materials to modern standards, as you will probably get, whilst them still being able to produce a watch that they know when they put it out there, it's not immediately going to come back full of problems.
Mm-hmm. And RJ, you've presumably got one of these somewhere?
Yes,
2 or 3 of them?
No, I have one. I was. They started to. I think I was the second or the third person who got it. They have some issues by producing them. It's a lot. It's normally with Omega, it's a bit like Rolex. It's all industrialized. And with this watch, there at Omega headquarters, they have a special workshop for their tourbillon watches that are handmade. And next to the tourbillon workshop, there's the Calibre 321 workshop. And it is a bit like the tourbillon workshop. There are a few watchmakers there. They get all the parts, they assemble them, they fine tune them, and one watch is made by one watchmaker. So it's totally different from all the other Omega Speedmasters, and that makes it very unique as well. It also indicates that it takes a longer time. They only will produce a maximum of 2,000 of these Calibre 321 movements per year. And this is the first year, and I don't think they will even reach half of that because they are starting up. And yeah, so it's very difficult to come by. It is expensive, but once you have it on the wrist, you immediately will notice why it is that much more expensive, because it feels completely different from a Moonwatch on the wrist. Mm-hmm. It feels rather than like a Royal Oak or a Nautilus on the wrist than like a Speedmaster. It's super strange, but it's very, very interesting, and a beautiful bracelet, as Dave says, and case is beautiful. It's actually the first case that is really true to the original ones, because you see on the first Omega in space, for example, you see the facets on the lugs. But originally, these watches never had facets. These facets were put after during after sales service. So the original ones didn't have facets. And this Calibre 321 model has straight lugs with no facets, how it should be. And yeah, it's a beautiful watch. So I saw it early on. I had some insights, also because we did some events in Biel, and they showed us this workshop in December already. So we had a very nice insight, and yeah, it's beautiful. I saw it and I ordered it right away. It's truly stunning.
And as RJ says, you know, it strangely does wear differently. The bracelet, you have to play with the bracelet to understand how different it is, and how it just does feel very different when worn as opposed to any of the other ones. The only one that's come close in terms of feeling special is the gold one that RJ was talking about, where that bracelet again just has a comfort that you don't get from any of the other bracelets.
Yeah,
Good
I agree.
stuff.
So
Right,
this watch
let's-
gets a 1. No.
because it's not
That much, that's too high, 0.
Right, let's have a vote
It's
then.
unrateable.
So on David's Arthur, what are you giving it? You've got 2 numbers left. You're giving it a 7.
Highest one I've
Sophie,
got left.
Checks in the post.
This is
Thanks, Dave.
horrible. I don't know what to do here because I don't know what's coming next.
you see. You've
So
got
Sophie,
one.
you remember
You've
who your
got one.
friends
I
are.
have the same
Sophie.
problem.
Okay, so you know
Sophie-
what? I'm gonna go with the red bar solidarity here. And I go for my 8, which
Oh,
means
so-
that Ricky, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to delete your talker video.
Thank you, Sophie.
So far, after 2 scores, Dave is ahead of RJ. Let's see what Dan's got left for him. Dan, how are you voting?
Dan, I will kill you.
Dan has a 4 and a 3 left.
Okay, he's going to get killed, whatever he gives me.
He's giving he's giving it a 3. Okay, Sam, I believe, has a 1 and a 2 left.
Come on.
Sorry, I went too high too quick.
Typical student. Sean, what are you giving it? You've got some big numbers left.
The
You've
one
got
I was
8
waiting
7.
for.
At the one you're waiting for. Oh, this might be closer than you think. Ricky, what are you giving Dave?
Infinity.
Yay!
Ralph,
Solidarity, brother.
can you remember who scored you? What did Dave give
yeah.
you?
I know, I remember that. But
Yeah,
I must say, I
anyone
really,
wish-
really like this, and I thought you would choose this one, so it's a 7 for me. It's Sabah in Arabic. It's a 7.
RJ, now you've got to protect your own position here because this might.
Yeah, I
swing it.
know. But the good thing is I have both watches. And to be honest, perhaps, Dave, you have the same, but David, but I can't choose sometimes. For me, it's either the gold one or the Calibre 321. So it's well-deserved 8.
Giving it an 8.
Awesome.
Good stuff. That means that there is only 1 left, and we'll leave it to our very own Ricky, who is obviously chosen out of sheer laziness and no other good reason. And we'll go to our own Scottish Watches website for his review of the Omega Speedmaster Apollo 8 Dark Side of the Moon. Take us away then, Ricky. Why is
Well,
this better than all
This was
the
back
rest?
in the day when I could be bothered doing stuff on the website. You know, remember those days, Rick? You've
I
never
remember the
experienced this.
days when you used to do things, yes.
Yeah, anyway, so now it's just 2 podcasts and a video a week. But anyway, moving swiftly on. So
Not that he tells me that every 20 minutes. I do so much work and you do so little.
you do fuck all. So anyway, this watch, this was released by Omega in 2018. And it was previewed a little bit. And then in Basel World, they actually had one in the display cabinet. And I got to see it in real life, which is obviously better than the renders that we always speak about. Things never look the same. So I saw it in the cabinet. I thought, that looks really good. It looks better than any other watches. I think they were doing, well, they were obviously doing some anniversary. Was it 60th year of the Speedy or the 60th year of something or other? So they had the big Bond stuff everywhere. And I was just, saw it in the window, thought, that's cracking. I'll put my name down as soon as I get back to Scotland. So got back to Glasgow, went into the boutique in Glasgow about it. And they said, oh, yeah, this will be out in June 2018. So I thought, fine. June 2018 came along. So did July and August and September. And then Dave got his in, I think it was December. I get mine in January, and they said it was like the second or third in the country. And the reason I went for it is because it appeals to me. It's black, it's yellow, doesn't look like any other Speedy. It's ceramic. I've already got a Tudor that's ceramic. I know how they work. I know not to donk them off things to crack them. And as you can see in this photo on the screen just now, the dial is unlike, up until now, any other Speedy. It's got the laser ablated bridges. Everything's at a different depth. So if you look at it side on, the way the light shines on it, the way the light cuts through, just looks fantastic. And then on the back, they've actually used different coloured rubies. Instead of the usual sort of pinky red, they've gone for a deep purple. And again, they've got the coatings in the back, which look fantastic. Nothing else has really come close. The new one they brought out this year, the red limited edition, I don't even think that looks half as good. So that's the reasons I have picked this one. And this is my one and only Speedy. so far.
Good stuff. It is, I mean, it is a really nice watch, to be fair. It is very different.
And it's now on a really good strap.
Yes. Tell us a strap story.
Oh, do I have to?
Well,
Look,
Again.
there's Dan getting all excited about it.
Again,
Like Dave, I don't like
again.
the strap that it comes with, so I decided
can't-
just to buy something else.
Well, it's funny you say that. I have one of these, as you know, and I love it. I really do like it for probably similar reasons to you. But the one disappointment for me was the strap's well made, but I, unlike other people, I just don't like pin buckles. It's a well made pin buckle, everything. I just don't like it. But by pure luck, they do that strap, which they had done for the Porsche Club special that they did of a similar watch. That's a deployant one, which I put it on it. That was the one disappointing for me. It should have come on a deployant, I think, as far as I personally am concerned.
Yeah. No, the buckle it comes with is ceramic, and it eats into your wrist. That was the one problem I had with it. So I ditched it and got an eBay special for 20 quid, which is absolutely amazing and looks really good on it.
It did not go through eBay's authenticity scheme.
It did not.
I think it would be fair to say. To be fair, Ricky, I don't give you credit very often, but you actually do take quite a good photograph, not of you personally, but of the watches that you photograph. That photo that we've got up just now of your Speedmaster is quite spectacular. Good stuff. Right, let's vote. You don't have much of a choice. You all should have one number left. So, Arthur.
My dog's just burst in the room and is actually chewing the other numbers. So this is all I've got left for you, Ricky. I actually like it, but this is what I have.
It's a 2. Sophie?
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Not happy, Sophie, giving Ricky a
Hold on. I just need to log into YouTube. Give me a second.
Delete talker. Dan, you should have 4 left, I believe. Yes.
Oh, he does love me.
Sam?
Of course I do.
I'm sorry, this is all I have, but I really, really like it.
Me too.
Sam is voting with a 1.
It's a number
Well done,
one.
Sam.
The numbers never lie. Sean?
I have a 7, and I stand by that number. It's not just my last one.
Okay. And Dave?
Nice.
You have a 5.
Johnny 5. That'll do.
Ralph, what have you got left?
Araba, 4. That's a 4.
4. And RJ, your final number for today is?
I have a final number, and it doesn't represent that what I really like about that watch, because I like it. I think it's the best Dark Side of the Moon edition there is. The Alinghi is not for me. It's similar to this one, but I have nothing going on for Alinghi, and I think I like the yellow better than the black. And I saw this watch very early on, when it was delivered in 2018 on the wrist of Roy Davidoff, and he wore it on a yellow NATO strap from Omega. That looks really awesome on that watch. So that's a free tip from me, but it is a 2.
Good stuff. Right. Well, I now have the scores, and it's quite interesting. It is actually very interesting because I've managed to fix them. So, but before I do that, just so as we're all quite clear that Omega don't necessarily always hit a home run. We have such things as the Speedmaster Perpetual Calendar.
Beautiful.
And the Rattrapante Speedmaster.
Beautiful.
That's a bit chunky.
I like this one.
And then the most delightful Omega Speedmaster of them all, the retro.
I love those. You need one.
1979. Yours for £450 if you can find one in stock. Right, so the scores are in, and we have, believe it or not, a draw.
Oh.
So tied for equal first place with 51 points is the 321 from Dave and the Apollo 11 Moonshine Gold from RJ. So
Perfect result.
Go. That's not a bad result.
That's an iWatch. That
Yeah,
one.
you can go and marry now. Come on. Happy couple.
That's
fair
exactly
though.
what I meant.
Oh.
So difficult to make a choice every morning between this one and that one.
Yeah,
actually,
it's so tough.
Tough call, Jared.
It's tough in the first world.
Tough. That's my life, man.
A respectable, obviously, because there was a tie for first. The next is a 3rd place with 43 points. And RJ, you can get the address once we're over, is Sam with with the two 99862 of our grandfathers. Then merely 1 point further behind is Arthur with the first Omega in space.
One's a
And
lot
then
cheaper
it's
than the other.
still getting close. We have Sophie on 33 with I'm not going to say the numbers, with the Speedmaster, and Dan on 32 with another Speedmaster. And then we have Sean on 27 with the Tintin, and 26 with 26 points is Ricky. And then in last place is dear old Ralph.
In my acceptance speech, I just want you to remember that there was a lot of achievement being done, and that was honored today. But there was a lot of people, astronauts, cosmonauts in the world that tried to push the human race forwards and failed or died on the way. I think we should actually remember these people too, who gave their lives to push us forward and
finishing last place.
get there.
Ralph, where's it you're originally from?
I'm from Germany.
Yeah, they kind of lose a lot of things, don't they?
I blame it on all of the Austrians. So, but yes, but generally it's
yeah. So it's always those pesky Austrians.
But yeah, we have a tendency. We've been there, done that. So just don't try, right?
Just never slag off the artwork of Austrians. That's a kind of global rule. If an Austrian wants to produce fine art and have a career in that, the answer is yes. It's very nice. Keep up the drawing.
It's exactly. The postcards were brilliant. Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. Who are we talking about?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anyway, right. Let's a bit more. A brief moment of solemnity now, because I'm actually going to hand over to Sophie, who's going to talk to us about a watch brand that had some sad news this week. It's a brand I'm reasonably familiar with, and that I'm probably going to get, just so as he makes up for his German jokes, Ralph to pronounce the name correctly. Is this brand here? Go for it, Ralph.
Nordzeitmaschine.
There you go. Sophie, tell us what's happened this week, unfortunately, with Nordzeitmaschine.
Guy that created this brand, who is a brilliant watchmaker in the German part of Switzerland. His name is Daniel Nobel, died this week at the age of 49. He apparently had a very severe kidney disease, and he's not on social media, and it just saddened me so much, to hear something like this. I don't know if anybody has the talent to take over this brand. I don't know if he trained anyone. He knew he was sick, but he was probably not expecting to die so quickly. He was really taken in just a couple months. And I think it's a loss for the independent watchmaking world. Even though it was a fairly small brand and not very well known, especially in the US, people don't really know it. It's just sad, to lose someone that was talented and so young. So I just wanted to kind of honor his memory here. I haven't heard anything in the media about this. And, I think that this platform is the perfect platform to be the first one to honor Daniel and his life and his accomplishments in the independent watchmaking.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with the freestyle and the vario curve. So just to describe for those that are listening to this, when we put this out as a podcast later on in the week, I suppose what was specialised in Nordzeitmaschine was kind of unusual forms of time telling. So fairly standard looking watch cases, but a unique way. If you imagine it's not a jump hour, it's not a floating hour, it's not mystery hands, but it's got that kind of unusual way of telling time. It's not just a simple three-handed watch with a dial. There's a lot of activity on the dial, a lot of variation. Certainly very much worth a look to see the talent of a guy who is unfortunately no longer with us. Yeah. So for anyone that knows him, obviously pass on our deepest sympathies. Sophie, from everybody at Scotch Watches. We will now move on to my happy place. We'll bring the show to a close shortly, but because we've had all of this blooming Speedmaster stuff, I thought it was at least appropriate that we should end probably with this. So this is Dan's turn to show it. Come on, you can't say bad things. This is the Panerai Ion Singapore edition.
There can't just be enough of those for this, mate.
This is a wonderful piece. So there you go. It's basically a normal Panerai, but with some red on it. Oh. There we have it. So other things that we're going to review this week, we will leave for another day, other than we will give a quick reference to, if I can find what I've done with it, not to that one. Where's the new Speedy? My new Speedy has gone. Fratello, where are you when I need you? There we go. You must have this. You must have the Speedmaster up here somewhere. Where's the
you need to scroll down a bit.
Well, up a bit, down a bit.
Feel sorry for you, Ricky.
There.
Down.
That's James Bond. Scroll down. That's Norcane. That's not the Snoopy.
Down.
Keep going down.
This is going to be great on the audio.
There it is.
This is fantastic audio. So basically, the final question then, and we'll play hit miss maybe on this, is first of all, is this better than either of the two watches that drew the 321 and the Moonshine Gold? Is this better than? Where does this position itself?
Oh yeah, it's definitely better.
Of Omega.
For me, it would fit in right behind those two. I really like it, but it doesn't have the true sort of classic DNA and significance of the other two that scored highest for me.
I agree with you. I think, luckily, like RJ, you know, like with the gold and the 321, they're watches that if you got them, you will never let them go. This, you want it, and I want it, and I'm pretty sure RJ wants it. And
mine
it's
is
a bit
on order.
like, yep, and it's exactly the same to me as watches like the Alaska or the Silver Medallion Snoopy or Eyes to the Stars or various ones like that. They're awesome, but you don't necessarily know if you'll have them all the time. With the gold one, I'll never let that, you know, unless, you know, the obvious things like family and proper important things in life come to the fore. If you're still able to have watches, that gold one and that 321 aren't going anywhere ever. All the other stuff may or may not come and go.
Yeah,
I like it. I love it. I think it's
amazing.
The colours of it. Yeah.
The blue is amazing.
Yeah.
Color,
Yeah, nice.
everything.
But if you don't have the 321 and the gold one, so that's done pretty good, huh?
Oh,
it's a good way to start, huh?
It'll be a fantastic watch to have for people.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful watch, and especially the case back is just amazing. When I saw it for the first time moving, I thought it's really adding something to the table. And I saw a lot of complaints about the price, and I think those complaints were up to the point that people realized that there's a mechanical animation on the case back. It's just beautifully done.
Oh, we've got some music playing with this one.
I paid for that music.
I was trying to play it, but that'll just absolutely trash the sound. So you'll just need to believe us that the case back, which no doubt everybody has seen on the internet, is quite spectacular. So any final thoughts on this, and then we'll give it a hit miss maybe? Anyone not like it because it's not a true Speedmaster, or they have something that bothers them about it, or is everybody just globally thinking this is pretty cool? Because I have to say, I think it's pretty cool.
I think the only other thing I would say actually is, you know, like RJ said, you know, like a lot of folk moaned about the price until they realised of the automation on the case back. The other thing though as well is it is a silver dial, you know, and that's another thing that a lot of folk maybe didn't initially realise. They just assumed it was a silver coloured dial, but it is actually a silver dial. It's
massive silver with an opaline treatment, and it's really beautiful. It looks really nice, and with the blue, great combination. Yes, it's just a stunning watch.
And very well thought out.
Bracelet, right? It looks like it's denim.
Yeah, it's blue. It's blue, like a soft strap nylon, like the old Snoopy, old Snoopy from 2015. This one.
Cordura.
Yeah. So it's a nylon fabric strap, and it's in blue. Matches the dial and the bezel perfectly. The bezel is ceramic, and it comes with a pin buckle. And I saw some people complaining about pin buckles, but I actually prefer it over the folding clasps. I think often these folding clasps are just a bit too thick on the wrist, and a buckle is nicer for me. But yeah.
Excellent. Right. Well, quick hit miss maybe on this. I assume it's a global hit.
I just
right up there.
So
Sophie's giving it an 8. Good stuff. And a NASA award from Ricky there. You can check the video for that. Very good. Ricky, can I just ask, somebody that asked in an earlier episode to do a favor, can you face the camera a second? Okay, so face the camera and then move. I think it will be down to your left. We're going to try and get your eyes peering between the Zoom logo that appears on the video. So if you can just go down to the left a bit, and we'll see if it might. I'm not sure if you need to go down to the left or down to the right. You're muted also for some reason, it would appear. Well, you've switched off something.
Is that better?
You back? That's better.
That's
so
better.
Just move. You need to be in the bottom corner of the screen to see if this
executive
works.
decision. No.
No. That's terrible.
We
do it for Halloween.
I'll do for Halloween. If you put your
no, you're wearing the mask that I got for you.
Yeah, I've got.
And it's not a GIMP mask.
It's not. No, that's no good for microphones. Those. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming. RJ, what can we expect on Fratello in this coming week?
Pretty cool stuff on Friday. Definitely come back on Friday. Big surprise. Big surprise.
Big surprise next Friday.
Prepping a bong.
Okay. Give us a hint.
No, I can't.
Is it a watch?
It's a watch, yes.
Good stuff.
Bong and a blimp.
Thank you all.
That narrows it down.
Sorry, what was that, Dan?
Nothing. It's all right. Carry on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thanks to all the folk in the chat. We'll try and go through the chat and answer some of the questions that are there. So as we like to say, it is goodbye from me, and it's also goodbye from all of them.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.